guys, it's Sarah, and today I want to talk about my reading goals for 2018. I have set a few of them and I just wanted to talk about them and kind of talk through them a little bit and see how I can make a few little changes here and there for the next year. So I always start off with my Goodreads goal, and I'm going to set my Goodreads goal this year at 80 again. I did that last year for 2017 and I blew it out of the water. I read over 100 books. I am not going to expect myself to do that again for 2018 because I don't know what this year is going to hold in store for us. I don't know what it's going to look like, and I don't want to set myself up for something unrealistic. So I think keeping it at 80 would still be a good challenge, and then if I meet it again, that would just be wonderful. Another goal that I have is I want to binge read some series. I have so many series that I've either started or I've read 1 or 2 books and I need to catch up on them, or I need to finish them if they're a finished series, or just some that I actually want to do like a start to finish type thing. I have quite a few trilogies, which I have talked about in a previous video as well. Just some stuff that I really want to just immerse myself into these worlds and get lost in them and either catch up or finish on some of these things and just read them back to back. That's something I really want to concentrate on. I think that would be something much different for me. I don't usually read books like right in a row. I've done it before in the past and I really enjoyed it when I did it. So that's something I want to start trying to get back into this year. And genre-wise, I would actually like to read more science fiction and fantasy books this year. I have quite a few on my shelves that I've been collecting because I've just heard amazing things about them. And especially fantasy is a genre that I really want to start getting into. And I have gotten quite a few fantasy series that I'm starting to collect, but I haven't picked one up yet. And I just really want to start getting into that genre and getting lost into these made-up worlds. So fantasy is definitely something that I want to incorporate more often into my reading. So I'm going to possibly try to read at least 1 fantasy book a month. As far as arcs and review books go, I have been getting quite a few lately, and something that I wanted to start trying to do is to read arcs and review books 2 months ahead of time if I can. The review books, technically, if I get like a finished copy, I don't get them really far in advance. They usually send them to me just when they're available, and it's maybe a few weeks. So those might be a little bit more difficult unless I can get my hands on a digital copy early, then I could do that. But as far as arcs go, they usually get those a few months in advance. And I do have a few on my nightstand right now that I need to read that are coming out in January and April and even March. And I just want to make sure I read them enough ahead of time that I have it done. I have a review video ready to go when the book is released so I can be talking about it at that time. And then also when I'm doing my TBR videos, I can talk that month about the arcs that are coming up and what I have read, or the books that are being released that I've already read as an arc, and I can talk about them and whether or not I recommend them as well. So that's something that I want to start trying to do, just really read the arcs and review books as soon as I get them in my hands. I have 2 reading projects I'm planning to do this year. First is going to be continuing my birthday reading project, which I am doing. If you have not heard of this reading project, I will leave my playlist link down below, but it is basically a reading project where I had 39 of my subscribers recommend a book to me, and I'm going to take this year of my 39th year and I'm going to read all of them before I turn 40 in October. And we are entering into the 2nd quarter of this project, and so far I've been really enjoying it. I've read some stuff that I probably would never have picked up on my own before, and I actually really enjoyed them. So it's been a really great project so far. And again, I will leave my playlist link down below if you want to see all the videos that are related to this, but so far it has been a blast. So I'm just going to continue on with it and finish that up before October. Another reading challenge I'm going to do is the Pop Sugar reading challenge for 2018. And I did a Pop Sugar reading challenge a couple of years ago and I enjoyed it. But the past 2 lists that came out, I think I didn't do because I didn't love the prompts that they had, or I saw a lot of repeating prompts. But this year's is very different. There's a lot of different types of prompts on there, and I can definitely pick out certain prompts that I already know I have things on my shelves that I can read for those prompts. So I just thought it'd be fun to go ahead and do that. And that's 40 books long. And I don't mind doubling up some of these prompts with other challenges I'm going to be doing, or readathons, or my birthday reading challenge. You know, as long as something falls into that group, I will just go ahead and check it off and count it as that. But I just thought the list was really good this year. So I will leave a link to that list down below as well. Another thing that I'm going to challenge myself to do has to do with my monthly book haul revisit videos that I'm going to be doing. I am going to be continuing this video series where every month I am looking back on the previous year and I'm talking about my book hauls and what I have still on my TBR to read, whether or not I've read them, have I unhauled them since then, whatever the case may be. So for 2018, I will be going back every month and doing my 2017 monthly haul videos and talking about where I am as far as those books go. For this year, I'm going to actually, when I do my revisits, I'm going to pick one book from last year's book haul and I'm going to put it on a yearly TBR. I tried to do this a little bit last year when I first started. I was picking like 1 or 2 books to put on my next month TBR, but that started to really pile up and be unrealistic for me. So instead of doing it where I'm going to try to read it as soon as possible, I'm just going to put it on a list to read sometime in 2018. The only time I'm really going to need to be very conscious of this is when we're getting towards the end of the year and I'm doing like my December book haul. I'm going to have to read that right away. And November and October and all that. So maybe in October, I'm going to start like when I pick whatever book I'm going to read, I'm going to go ahead and read it. So that could be a good challenge for me too, you know, by the end of August, have everything that was already previously on my TBR read already. But I just want to give myself a little bit more time to do that. So instead of doing it by the month, I'm just going to do it by the year. So in 2018, I plan to read 12 books that I hauled in 2017. And now I want to talk about my TBRs every month. This year, I really found myself very restricted in what I had to read every month because I would have these elaborate TBRs where I would have 10 to 12 books to read every month. And I didn't do that. A lot of times I did read everything on my TBR, but not every month. And this year, I want my TBRs to be smaller as far as what I'm telling you that I'm going to read, and then give myself more freedom to just pick up whatever I want, either something off my shelves or something from the library. So here is what my TBRs are going to look like. They are going to be my book club picks because I am in a book club here in town with a group of my friends. So every month we have a book, so it will include that book. I am also part of Lisa's Buddy Reads, which is a Goodreads reading group, and I will leave that link down below too if you guys want to go check that out. I don't read every single book that they pick, just mainly ones that I'm either really interested in or that I already own. So I may not have one of those every single month, but quite a few I will. And she already has her entire year for next year picked out as far as the books go, so it's pretty exciting. And so those are going to be the first 2 books on my TBRs, whatever the book club picks are. Then I will have ARCs and review books. So anything that the publishers have sent me that I need to read by a certain time, and just anything that is going to be coming up for review soon that I need to read. And then I will be talking about the books on my birthday reading project list. That's going to be 3 to 4 books a month because that's kind of how I had to space it out as far as the year goes. And so far I've been able to keep up on that no problem. So those will be on my official TBRs. And then any buddy reads that I have going on. Because very often I've been doing buddy reads with people. And I love buddy reading. I absolutely love it. It's been a lot of fun. It's pushing me to read some things that I wouldn't necessarily pick up right away. And it's been great just to talk to somebody about a book while we're reading it. So those are going to be the only books on my official TBRs. Everything else for that month is going to be just whatever I feel like. It's going to be me going to my shelves and saying, what am I in the mood to read? What would I like to read now? What audiobook would I like to listen to now? And I just want to give myself that freedom because I have been feeling very bogged down by my TBR. I will finish a book and go, okay, what do I need to read next? And I'll have to go to my list and pick something out. And I just don't feel like I have that freedom to just read whatever I want to read because I'm limiting myself every month with my TBR. And I know quite a few booktubers who have completely stopped doing TBR videos because of that reason. They just felt way too bogged down and felt too much responsibility to what they've already said they were going to read. And again, I don't always read every single book on my TBR. That has not happened every single month, and it's fine. I've had books on my TBRs this year that I didn't even read at all. And that's okay. But I just really want to make sure that I'm giving myself the leniency to just pick up whatever I want to. And when I talked about, you know, going to the library, well, I was trying to do that a lot last year, and I found myself getting all these library books and then having to take them back unread because I just didn't have the time to read them because I already had a big TBR. And I would like to, you know, get to a point where I've read everything on my TBR. So I've read my book club books, I've read all my ARCs and review books, I've read my books for my birthday reading project, and I have read any buddy reads, or I'm currently reading buddy reads, anything like that. I would like to be able to get to a point where I kind of have all that done and I'm like, oh, I can just pick whatever I want now, and I can go to the library and I can pick 2 or 3 books and I can actually take them home and start reading them right away. Instead of grabbing a couple of books and then a week into it, I have to renew them because I wasn't able to get to them. So definitely want to give myself just more leeway as far as my TBRs go monthly. So my TBR videos are not going to be quite as extensive as they were this year, and my wrap-ups should hopefully be more extensive. And I think that's fun too, because it'll be a little bit of a surprise at the end of the month on what I did end up reading, and I can be talking about some new things that way. So those are my goals, and I'm really, really excited about them. I think these are going to push me. I think they are going to help me to get into some different types of reading habits that I'm really excited about, and I just can't wait to get started. So let me know down below if you guys have any reading goals that you're setting yourselves for 2018 and what they are and all that good stuff, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.